What's up, YouTube? So recently I made a video about why I changed to a revolver for everyday carry, and got a lot of comments, a lot of views on that, and a lot of people are saying, well, what did you carry before you carried the little snub nose revolver? So I'm going to tell you. Good question. So the first thing I carried mostly was this 1911. It's a Springfield Range Officer. It's full size. It's pretty heavy, as most 1911s are. Um, Good pistol. The Range Officer, if you have never seen one of these before, this out of the box has a lot of really good features that everybody can appreciate, I'm sure. It's very accurate. It has nice adjustable sights on it, which I'm actually not a fan of on a carry weapon. I would have preferred combat sights on this thing, but it is what it is. It's a very accurate pistol on the range, but it's just heavy, and it's full size barrel. It's kind of long, so that's why I stopped carrying that. Um, in the wintertime, I do carry it in a shoulder holster most of the time because it's pretty big. I mean, I've gotten inside the waistband holsters for it also that are just not as comfortable. But I mean, if you're, especially like me, if you're used to 1911 platforms, you can't go wrong with a Range Officer. I really like this model. I like the fact that it does not have an ambidextrous safety. I don't care for them on this side. So that's the first one that I used to carry pretty much all the time. The second one that I switched to was this Taurus 357 4-inch, and obviously the 4-inch is long. It doesn't weigh that. It's not terribly heavy. It's fairly weighty though. There's no alloys or anything on this. It's steel frame, 6-shot 357 38 special revolver. Also adjustable sights, nice. It shoots very well. The trigger action on this thing is very good, especially the double action, kind of like what we saw with the 856 here. Very, very smooth, single and double. I mean, it's glass, which is surprising. My first ever was a Colt Trooper Mark III, and then I had a Python for a little while, which I let go of like an idiot. I can't compare this to that exactly, but I mean the double action is surprisingly good on this revolver. I mean it's nothing to do. The second follow up really fast, double action on that. So gotta stop carrying that because it's just a little long, right? Kind of got in the way a little bit. It was fairly comfortable, but it's just a little bit too long. We already talked about this M9, this 92FS. I did a video on that earlier. About breakdown, carry. Same thing with this. I usually carry this in a shoulder holster if I do carry it, although I do have inside the waistband holsters for this as well. I mean, already talked about this in the other video. Great pistol. I like it. I can shoot very well with it. A lot of capacity for those of you that are concerned about that kind of thing. But it's still big. It's not as heavy as the 1911, obviously, but I switched. Okay, so pocket pistol, a little cheap 380. This is a Taurus 709 or 738. I'm sorry, Taurus 738. Just a real cheap 6-shot. 380 you can throw in your pocket. This was never a primary. It's always been a backup. I don't know. I guess you could conceivably carry this as a primary CCW if you wanted to for your EDC. It's probably not enough oomph for me to do that, but it is a good backup pistol, glove box pistol, things like that. So, and it shoots very well. I've never had a problem with it. It's very inexpensive. It doesn't weigh very much. It has a nice heavy slide on it, and the trigger pull is horrendous as you would imagine, but it's not that bad. So, good option for a pocket gun or a inside the car gun. The main one I carried a lot was this Taurus G2C for carry, and this was carried inside the waistband. And it is a nice pistol. I finally broke down and I went polymer. It's the first one I've ever owned. I don't have a Glock or anything like that. And so I got this, and I've never had a problem with this pistol. It shoots fantastic. The trigger pull is okay. I don't mind it. It's a little hard, but I mean, that's to be expected. It does have a safety on it, which I really don't like in particular. But however, it's similar to a 1911. It's in the same place. So me being familiar with my 1911, it's not that much of a stretch for me to remember to do that, to flip that safety on and off. So for me personally, that's okay. If you are not used to using a 1911 or having a safety in this position, with that downward motion to pull it off a safe, you need to definitely train with it like that, or it may give you problems when you go to pull it and use it if you forget that safety is on. I would really rather prefer it not have a safety, just because of that reason. But aside from that, it's a great shooter. I've never had a malfunction on this thing. It does have a 12-round magazine, so it's kind of comparable to the Hellcat. It came out before it, and I think it's a little bit less expensive than that also. So great pistol. Just decided that for me, racking the slide and all that kind of stuff, I didn't really need the capacity of 12, and that's why I switched over to this. So as you can see, both of these are very similar in size as far as footprint goes. The revolver is just a hair wider than the G2C, but as far as length goes, I mean, they're close. As far as like the footprint that they would give on your body. Same thing, dimensions like this, very close indeed. So not that much of a change as far as how much stuff you're carrying as far as space goes. So that was another reason why it was a pretty easy choice for me to go ahead and transition from one to the other. But so that's it. I was just going to run that through real fast because everybody was asking, what did you used to carry? And that's what I used to carry. So I mean, I still do alternate from time to time, like I said in my original video about this one. It just kind of depends on how I feel, I guess, at the time. But this is my primary everyday carry, with the option to switch to whatever I feel is appropriate for whatever I'm doing, etc. So that's all I had for you guys. I just wanted to answer those questions about what this was replacing, and it's replacing these, but not totally, not all the time. Of course, I'll carry a variety of things just depending on what I'm doing. So all right, thanks for listening. See you guys later.